Last going up, here is Darren Flindell.
Okay, riders, last one.
460 for Mad Darcy, and they're all locked and loaded now. The light is on for the first on Coolmore Classic Day at Rosehill. Soft 6 to kick off the day. Ready now. Bit of movement in the gauge. Black Duke was restless there and missed the kick a little bit. And Rhythmic Pulse jumped sharp. Rev right up. Cruel Summer goes to second from Super Bright. And Brimstone caught a little bit deep early in advance of Hugh, and Black Duke up the fence. Mad Darcy midfield is 3 wide without any cover by the looks of it. Yeah, no, it's got some cover now behind Brimstone. Mayrose midfield is trucking along pretty hard there on the inside of Field Weary. Then Big Apple and Peaks last of all. Rhythmic Pulse the front runner narrowly from Cruel Summer. Super Bright just easing in now and getting some cover in third. Then Black Duke further back to Brimstone, 3 wide on the outside of Hewen. Further back to Mayrose. Mad Darcy travelling strongly with cover, 3 wide. A length and a half to Big Apple, Field Weary, and Peak sees them all. Rhythmic Pulse hard pressed on the fence, leads around the corner from Cruel Summer. Super Bright peeling 3 wide. Then Black Duke, Mayrose is hunting the fence hard, and then came Hewen. Wider out Brimstone, and Mad Darcy trying to get into it. She's plodding today. It's Rhythmic Pulse the leader at the 150 from Super Bright. Hewen still Rhythmic Pulse shows the way from Super Bright. Rhythmic Pulse tackled by Super Bright, flushing home Peak later, but it's Super Bright. Super Bright won it. 3-way go for the Miners. Wide out Peak, the middle Brimstone, and Rhythmic Pulse on the inside. Close up Field Weary and Hewen. Big Apple. Then came Cruel Summer from Mad Darcy, who covered a bit of ground, and boy, Mayrose hunted the fence and went nowhere, nor Black Duke.
Super Bright, Karen McAvoy, Nathan Doyle take the first. Out wide, beats Peak, number 14. This is the horse that had 4 years away from the track. That was his 4th run back today. It's run second, and Brimstone will get third, a stablemate of the winner. Nathan Doyle trains first and third.
Yeah, good effort. She's so genuine. Should have finished closer last start, and McAvoy's just riding in great form. He just popped her into a beautiful spot there, and then he wanted to get to the outside. He balanced her up, and she finished off the 1200 quite nicely to beat Peak at any old odds there. First run at 1200, so encouraging signs there. And that specking for Brimstone proved correct because he's run a really good race. Rhythmic Pulse went out and just got tired that last little bit. Just worried about those couple of horses on the inside there. Black Duke and Mayrose dropping off. Maybe they'll be avoiding that if they're watching the replays later on.
Yeah, another terrific ride by Karen McAvoy. Couldn't agree more, Ronnie. He's in terrific form, putting him in all the right spots. He's just got terrific hands on a horse. He knew what he had underneath him. I'd be interested to see what the jockeys have got to say. There's a couple of them back on the inside there, like Huon dove back towards the fence and they sort of bogged down, so I'll be interested to hear what the jockeys have to say on return.
And the time looks slow, Corey. They've run 1:11.98. The class record on a good track is 1:10.41. So they've only just broken 1:12 here. We'll get back to you with what Corey can glean from the jockeys after the first. Race 2 coming up at 1:05. Couple of big recent Newcastle winners running favourite here today. Wymark and the very short tabby time in the last. 2 out. Here's Darren for the Key Clean handicap.
Jason Collett aboard, so Circle of Fire's in, and Unlimited now is the last to go forward. Drawn barrier 11 with as many runners. The light is on. Stand by for a start. Wymark favourite, racing now. And Glad You Think So hopped out of the gates well. So did Dasho Lenny and so did Sunlord the rails. Rolling forward is the favourite. Wymark settles 4th. Then Faye's Angels. Dr. Evil, Decadent Tale, Mars a bit down on the rails pulling. Then Zagallo slotting in right back towards the rear of the field with Circle of Fire and Unlimited. So Glad You Think So taken to the front by Clark. Out by length in the favourite. Wymark rolls up into a clear second. Sunlord 3rd and Dasho Lenny 4th. Went out 1 back. Faye's Angels looking for a spot going forward. After 2 lengths came Dr. Evil on a 3-wide path around Decadent Tale and Mars a bit. Back in the field, Zagalo from Unlimited, and Circle of Fires back towards the rear of the field, but Collett starting to put it into the race, going to third last, fourth last now as they go past the 1,200 metres. Glad You Think So in front. Phase Angels worked around them going to a clear second, and the pace has been all right up front. 2 or 3 lengths away to Sunlord third on the inside of the favourite Wymark. 2 after Dasho Lenny. Now further back to Dr. Evil is racing very wide. Mars a bit down on the rails. Then came Decadent Tail from Unlimited. Circle of Fire taken back again. So Circle of Fire is now second last of the 800. Zagalo's the last one. Glad You Think So. Gallops down the side of the course by a length and a half on Phase Angels. Then Sunlord and Wymark well positioned. 2 after Dasho Lenny. Then Mars a bit under a vigorous ride. Dr. Evil the outside. Decadent Tails making hard work of it. A gap back in the field to Unlimited from Circle of Fire, who's second last. They straighten up. Glad You Think So coming well off the rails now, led by 2 on Phase Angels. Wymark is starting to run on. Sunlord battling on the inside, and 2 after Dasho Lenny. Glad You Think So quickly tackled by the favourite Wymark, and Wymark went up to head off the leaders, and running on the outside is Decadent Tail, Dasho Lenny, but Wymark, here's 3 in a row, opening up the city account, and Wymark scores a comfortable win. Decadent Tail second, third Camera there, Dasho Lenny and Circle of Fire. I think the 2 in it. Phase Angels close up. Then came Glad You Think So from Sunlord. A gap to Mars a bit, Unlimited, and Zagalo was last in.
Number 8, Wymark, Tommy Berry and Michael Freedman continues its run. Goes up that 50 metres today to 1900. This 3-year-old with promise has scored. They walked early, Ronnie. What time have they run? 1:57.37.
Yeah, look, he's a nice horse. He's earned himself a crack at the the better 3-year-old staying races, I would have thought, if he holds up, because he kept surging. He was really helped when Phase Angel went round and just give him that beautiful 1-1 cover there. And I like the way he hits the line, this horse. He continues to surge through it. A better run there from Decadent Tail. She's run on strongly, and the stablemate probably still improvement to come from both of them running third and fourth there. Looks pretty tight. Maybe Dasho Lenny, maybe.
Yeah, it is. Yes. It is Dasho Lenny. So the numbers are Wymark first, 6 Decadent Tail, 2 Dasho Lenny, and the stablemate 1 Circle of Fire.
Yeah, he's another one, Tommy Berry. He's in a very similar vein of form as Kieran McAvoy. He's gone back to the provincials and rode himself back into a great run of luck. So putting him in all the right positions, getting him all the right breaks and riding extremely well.
We'll find out shortly what Michael Freedman plans to do with Wymark after winning the 78 here, race 2. Okay, there's Drifting about to walk up into the gates. And we're just about ready. Darren Flindell for the Magic Night.
Run. Week to go to the slipper, and the fillies are off now. Castagna missed the kick. Drifting jumped really well from the wide gate. There's plenty booting through though. Shadow Miraval, Vala Bing the inside, and Southern Charm 3 out. And Vala Bing's really hunting through on the fence, hard to try and keep Drifting out. Then It's a Baby on the inside of Fly settles midfield. Couple off to Castagna from She Smashes. And 3 lengths away to Totoka. So Vala Bing wasn't giving up the fence, and in the process it fired itself up. But is a narrow leader from Drifting. Shadow Miraval ridden with cover today in third. Then It's a Baby, Southern Charm. Further back to Castagna from Fly just got back another length. And She Smashes Totoka are the last 2. 500 out, Vala Bing and Drifting. Now Shadow Miraval's coming off heels 3 wide. It's a Baby pinching ground on the fence. Further back to Southern Charm. Fly to the outside. Castagna's coming down the middle part of the track, looking to slice through as Drifting races to the lead by a length on Shadow Miraval. And here's Fly cutting loose. Castagna goes to fourth between runners. Fly sustaining the run, moved up to Drifting and Shadow Miraval. Over on the inside, Drifting from Fly. Drifting going well on the inside. Drifting kicking hard, and Drifting beat Fly. Shadow Miraval ahead away third, and close up Castagna fourth. A gap to She Smashes doing its best work late, and a good margin back to Totoka, Southern Charm, Vala Bing, and It's a Baby.
200 to 1 for the slipper. Will be gone in a moment. 200 to 1 prior to that race, Drifting. She, of course, went round a very solidly supported $4.20 chance. Look at those fluctuations. I'm just looking on the NOP there, Tim. $5.55, $4.60, $4.40, $4.20. And is that right? Pays, have they missed it on the tote? $8.90?
No, I don't think that'd be right.
No.
$4.70. $4.70 best.
Okay, well, that's that. The tote's broken down here, right?
You can only wish.
Yeah.
You can only wish. But does she run in the slipper, or is she another one of these horses that we can throw in this Percy Sykes market? Because she ticks off 1,200 with style there. She's got style and substance, and they knew. I thought Fly had her on toast there at the 200, but she held her off well. So promising filly. On paper, not a strong race, but there's a lot to like about her, I think. A lot to like about her.
Yeah, I just spoke to Paul Snowden quickly after the race, Ronnie, and he said that he thought she was a good thing beaten down there in Melbourne last time out, but I thought it was a really, really brave effort. They went solid enough up front. Tommy was sort of hitting the front probably a little bit too soon, but she looked like she was on toast there at about the 200-metre mark when Fly was scooting down the outside, but she had the audacity to pick herself up off the canvas and run through the line strong. So another great ride by Tom Sherry.
Here's the time, 1:10.76. 1:10.76, home in 34.68. 34.68. Run by Drifting. Okay. Paul Snowden is here after the win of Drifting, just talking to the press corps. Well done. She found some fight.
Yeah, look, she's got that, possesses that ability, and she's a filly that's been up on speed and been quick at 1,000, but always realistically thought she would run 1,200 quite strongly. But the other day at Flemington, we got sort of charging in the middle stages and early down the straight, which of course that can happen, and she didn't relax as good as what we wanted, but to beat a slender length on the line, it was certainly added a lot of merit to the run and gave us good confidence. Hopefully she did more things right today, stepping up in trip, and she did that.
Will she be here in 7 days' time?
Yeah, it's, we'll give her every opportunity. We've got all week, but she's pretty tough. She bounces back through her runs pretty quick, and we've been to Melbourne and back, and it hasn't phased her at all. So it's probably up to her, and we'll know probably Tuesday.
Tuesday morning.
That's the cut-off. But look, it'd be great if we can, but there's Percy Sykes not far away as well.
That's right. Well done.
Thank you.
Went round favourite in the Blue Diamond. And an ode trying to give Gain Adrian another one into the slipper. Here's Darren.
For the slipper off for grabs here in the Pogo. Stand by. Gatsby's the short price favourite. Ready to go. And they're racing. An ode began brilliantly wide out and handlebars down. An ode's looking for the lead from the wide draw coming across the field. Gatsby's there with Dublin down. Johnny the Kid wide out. The 300 handy on the rails, followed then by Coleman. On the outside of King of Rousseau, a gap to Agenda Setter Parkour. Well back then is Glorious Moments and Duvana going into the first turn. And Dublin down got up on the inside there and held out an ode for the lead. Dublin down from an ode. Johnny the Kid out wide, followed by the 300, and Gatsby's is wedged between runners in fifth as they come to the turn. King of Rousseau getting close to heels on the inside of Coleman, and two further back to Agenda Setter. Dublin down comes to the bend in front by a length. A node under pressure. They're followed by the 300. Gatsby's into the clear from Johnny the Kid. King of Rousseau's got it all to do. Inside the 300 metres, Dublin down the leader, going well from a node. Gatsby's grinding away in third. He needs to left. It's Dublin down in front of the 150. A length on a node sticking to the task, but Dublin down going great guns. Dublin down is going to gate crush the Golden Slipper. Dublin down held off a node, and Coleman got up to run third. Gatsby's not so great in fourth. Then came King of Rousseau. Further back to Parkour from Johnny the Kid, the 300. A gap to Divana, Agenda Setter, and last to finish was Glorious Moments.
Well, it looks like Tony and Calvin McAvoy have now got two into the Golden Slipper. We'll touch base with Calvin in a moment. Ruta Royale is there. And now Dublin down can go to the slipper as well. Like the filly in the previous, Drifting was a 200-to-1 shot prior to today. And there is Tim Clark at his brilliant best in front, beating a Gain Adrian horse who he held out. Hieronymus on a node runs second. Coleman's going to run third. Now, he becomes interesting. Does Matt Laurie press onto the Golden Slipper because he is well and truly in the field? So 2 questions there. Dublin Down, does he go? And is Coleman still on track?
Yeah, wow. They're too good, the McAvoys. He had really good form in the right races last year, and then they run him first up in the Blue Diamond. And look, he wasn't beaten a long way, but they've read the play, saying, well, he's done well. Let's go to Sydney, have a crack. And he was more than competitive here. Did it both ends, and too good for them. Ode's stuck on well there, and Coleman wasn't disgraced. He's battled on okay, but... Yep, the favourite, just a touch plain there. I would have thought he seemed to have the right run, but it's all about the winner. Great decision to bring him here.
Yeah, I thought it was a terrific win, Ronnie. Like you said, he definitely burnt the candle at both ends. He got a little bit of a breather there midsection, but then Timmy Clark sent him straight from home, the top of the straight. It was a really, really tough win, I thought.
So Dublin Down beats Ode and Coleman, and then Gatsby's. Well done, Calvin. Blinkers on and marked urgent today.
Yeah, for sure, Greg. Really impressed with the Colts' performance today. We were confident he would come up here. We thought he was a little bit overlooked in the market, maybe the Melbourne form, but certainly wasn't expecting a performance like that. It's
a very difficult year to weigh it up. I think we've got pros and cons for both sides of the border, haven't we?
Oh, we do. Look, it's. I think there's plenty of depth in this year's 2-year-old races, and there's been so much talk about the Storm Boys and the Switzerlands, which I think is fantastic for the whole game. But talking about our Colt, we'll just see how he comes through it. We'll look at him for a couple of days. He's up here. Tim Hanley, our foreman, travelled up with the horse, and he'll watch him closely, and we'll make a call whether we back up here next week.
Will you have Ruta Royale here no matter what?
Yeah, Ruta Royale's coming up, and he'll run in the slipper, and he'll go on to the sires. So, just a great effort to the team from the team to be able to, down from Victoria, get 2 horses qualified for a Golden Slipper is a big pat on the back to everyone.
And a decision to come later about Dublin Down.
Yeah, well, it's just how it worked out. So how it works out. So we'll probably make a decision Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, well done.
Forward. Yeah, so Lindemann, a shade of odds on here at $1.95. He won the Rosehill Guineas here last year at this distance, and a hot favourite to win the Sky High Stakes. Last year's winner Stockman goes in, and they're off and racing now. And Lindemann jumped well together with Hopeful in the gold jacket. Just Fine is slowly rolling forward out wide, and Athabaskan will take a prime roll down on the fence. Then came Carl, a poor explosive Jack, and Stockman given plenty of time to find his legs. So after the first couple of 100 metres, Just Fine rolls on the outside, and Just Fine taken to the front by Bayless, out by a length and a half. The favourite Lindemann gets a tail trail going into the bend, and he looks pretty well switched off Lindemann in that position. Then Athabaskan on the inside, a Hopeful, a length and a half to Carl, a poor explosive Jack, and Stockman looking for his second success in this race has sat back last about 8 off the front runner. So Just Fine extends the lead to 2.5 to Lindemann down the back. Then came Hopeful, who's presented in much better order today. Hopeful in third, then Athabaskan fourth the rails, then Carl, a poor explosive Jack, and still Stockman is the last one. So all riders seem to be content with their positions at the moment, and Just Fine looking to improve on his effort a fortnight ago. It's Just Fine scampering along by 2.5 to the favourite Lindemann. Similar margin to Hopeful, punching the breeze on the outside of Athabaskan. A length and a half Carl, a poor from explosive Jack. Stockman just being nudged along last of all as they go to the 750, and Just Fine led the way by 2 lengths still on Lindemann. No change to the order. Athabaskan third from Hopeful, then Carl, a poor explosive Jack under a vigorous ride. Ditto for Stockman. So Just Fine at the 500, a length and a half in front. Coming wide, Lindemann is staying towards the inside of Just Fine. Then Athabaskan closest to the rails. 350 to go. Just Fine being given the tap on the shoulder by the favourite Lindemann. And quickly Lindemann dashes clear inside the 200. Carla Paws running home into second. Stockman on the outside. Athabaskan next, but it's Lindemann drawing clear for a big, big win in the Sky High Stakes. Too good for these Lindemann. Beats Carl, a poor and Stockman. Athabaskan fourth. It's not going well for Just Fine at the moment. He dropped out again today. So did Hopeful. And a long last was Explosive Jack.
I don't think a lay of the day's ever won by further.
College.
Lindemann. Can you think of one, Tim?
Yeah, Naval College, maybe a little bit further.
He knows them all.
He knows them all. Lindemann. No getting away from the fact that he was the horse to beat. Look at that. Look at that. McDonald might ride another winner today, but he won't ride an easier one.
Yeah, that was in control a long way out. He just got into that rhythm behind a horse that's probably not going any good, and he just enjoyed his day out. So that'll be a great confidence builder moving forward to what? I don't know. There's a lot of options, so we'll leave that to Chris to work out, but that's what he needed, that horse. A good, comprehensive win. Much better from Carlapore. Stockman's whacking away into fitness there. Athabaskan sprint. Just couldn't sprint with them, looking for further, and they might have to just put him out and start from scratch there with Just Fine, who does not appear to have come up. But all about the winner. Punters are really appreciating the even money and going to the queue here to collect.
There's not a lot to talk about, Ronnie. It was pretty much over after they jumped and he got the leaders back, and he never looked like getting beat. That was pretty much just a track work gallop there for J-Mac on board. Yeah, easy as it is.
I wonder if they have a crack at the Tancred in 2 weeks' time. I think they're well covered for the Ranvet. Well done, Chris. He was too good for those.
Yeah, it was good to see. His first 2 runs this prep have been against the best horses in Sydney in terms of 1400 and mile races. So I think he had to do it today. We saw him fighting out the Group 1 Rosehill Guineas and winning it last year. Things didn't quite go to plan in the spring. He's now a gelding, and just showed his first 2 runs, and then again today he's a different horse. So he's back, and it's exciting.
He's settling well in his races. Would you like to test him at 1.5 miles in a couple of weeks?
Not really. No, going back to what Nash said back in the autumn last year, I think we might have ran him in the Derby, and I don't think whether we did or didn't, I can't remember. But either way, we said no, we don't think he'll get 2400. So I think we'll have a good think about it and see what the opposition's going to be like. If it's going to be a moderate field, well, yeah, you'd consider it. But if it's going to be a strong Group 1, 2400, probably stay out and go to either the Randwick next Saturday or more than likely the Doncaster 3 weeks' time.
So back up or wait and then come back in distance?
That's my preference. Okay. I'll probably leaning slightly to Doncaster.
You love a Doncaster. You do.
Congratulations, J-Mac. How good was that?
Yeah, that was easy. It was he would have done more on Tuesday morning.
He obviously felt the winner a long way out, but will he go further? Do you reckon he'll get 1.5 miles?
He's pretty quick. He's very push button. He's very when you give him a single, he reacts really sharply. So I like him at that trip. I thought it was a pretty good trip for him. I'm trying to think of a 1.5 mile race that would suit him, but no, I think 10 furlongs is nice. Thank you.
What a good betting race this has turned out to be. But they don't like Airman, but they like a few others. Here's one of the Minervini horses coming up, Quick Tempo, who can do something on his day. And Libertad trying to regroup after pulling up with cardiac arrhythmia last start. He's been back to the trials for Annabelle Neesham. Here's Darren.
Locked and loaded. There's the light. Ready to go for the Group 3 sprint. Set. Racing now, Red Card left sharply off the inside and is the initial leader, Red Card. There's plenty having a pop for second. Omni Man burst through the pack going to second. Hard to say, Whiteout going to third. Then Airman on the inside, a Dashing Legend. Further back to Libertad caught wide and trucking along from Meritable. Then Rich Fortune and Quick Tempo last of all. Red Card got to the front. Hard to say over to second. Omni Man with the trail. One off the fence with Airman holding the inside spot. Further back to Dashing Legend from Libertad, travelling pretty strongly. Meritable getting shuffled back a little bit from Quick Tempo, and the well back Victorian mare Rich Fortunes last of all. Red Card in control, turning for home. Red Card by 2 on, Hard to Say, then Omni Man. Eamon being stoked up on the inside, down to the 250, and Red Card shows the way by 2 on Airman and Hard to Say, then Omni Man. Libertad wide out. Hieronymus keeping Red Card in the game at the 100. Red Card kicking well. It's Red Card in front with 50 to go. A wall for the Miners. Red Cartlet all the way. Libertad second. Airman third. Omni-Man fourth. Then Hard to Say from Quick Tempo. A gap to Meritable. Dashing Legend dropped out, and Rich Fortune always at the rear.
She does it again, Red Card, back-to-back this preparation. Number 4, Red Card, Adam Hieronymus and James Cummings leading all of the way to prove too good in the Morris McCartan.
Yeah, she just loves it. It's a track and distance specialist, so she just loves it, gets into a rhythm, left alone and runs time, and she's just a ripper. So she's come up really well, stronger mare this preparation, and just too good. Much better from Libertad, much better. Back on track, and he had his chance. Airman, he'll improve off the run, no excuses for him, but all honours the winner, in control all the way.
Yeah, absolute terrific ride there by Adam Hieronymus. So you got a little bit of a mid-race breather, but then from the 600 through to the 300, he just took total control of the race. Loved how he never let go of this horse until about the 200 metre mark. He knew what he had underneath him, and he didn't want to set sail too far from home, but it was a terrific ride from Adam Hieronymus.
Okay, Red Card beats Libertad Airman. Well done, James. She's well and truly in the zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job that Adam Hieronymus was able to do on her. She jumps so fast. She gets control of these races, and she's just got that great natural pace. But great credit to the work riders who've been, continuing to teach her to settle better and better when it matters, and that's the difference between last prep and this prep. It's it's great. It's great to see, and that gives me the opportunity to step her up to 6 furlongs if I wish to in a month's time.
Okay, and you think she'll handle that?
I think so. I mean, as long as we don't feel like backing her up in the Galaxy next week, there's always that option. But I think a month to the Sapphire looks good, and she'll be a nice runner for us in the Carnival. She's out of a street cry mare. She's the daughter of Ribchester, but she's fast, and she's able to handle these tracks, and she's in such great form. But great credit to the staff and a good push from Paul Reid, who was keen to run her today rather than the birthday card that I initially thought might be the better option for her next week. But I really like the way she met Airman better in the weights than the last time she beat him here, and there was a bit of a tip around for that horse. So she's going so well, and my team, they got their eye in, and my horses are just turning the corner.
Okay, keep it going.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Adam. You took total control of that race.
Yeah, she's got brilliant gate speed, so I controlled the race after 2 strides.
She just seems to be getting better with every run that she has with the manners.
She is. She's settling, and she's adapting a little bit more each time, and obviously probably a trip to Melbourne helped. But I trialled her Monday, and it's obviously been a bit of a plan target this race, and she was nice and fresh on Monday and needed the trial. She had a good blow, but very well executed by James, and it's good to get a Group 3.
Has she got a bit of upside?
Yeah, definitely. She can keep settling, and obviously going up in grade, she's going to probably get more pressure than what she did today. But the way she handled that mid-race pressure, which was to be expected from the slow speed, it didn't seem to bother her, and she settled last start, so she's taking the right steps.
Well done.
Thank you.
Over 1,500, Group 2 for the 3-year-olds. Here's Darren.
Side, and the plan is to go forward. So Tannhauser just backed out there at the first attempt, goes in now. And we've got one out of line for the Shandon Far Lap Stakes to commence today's quaddie here at Rosehill. Red light is on. We're ready for the Far Lap Stakes. Lavon Pier heavily backed. Ready to run now. Speed drawn wide out. Waiting for the all clear from behind. There it is now. Racing. There's a great line out. Les Vampire began sharply. Macarena nicely into stride. And now Cougar showing plenty of muster. Followed then by Raff Attack, who's slowly rolling forward the outside. Soul Coach the fence. Kintyre between them. Further back to He-Man and the White Cap from Noisy Boy. 2 off to Zardozi Ravello. And Tannhauser is going to settle last of all. Les Vampire's trying to get down to the fence. Our Cougar's proving to be a bit of a pest on the inside. It did enough there to force Hippo's hand on Les Vampire. He had to work, and he accelerates to the lead, and Raff Attack, the stablemate, goes to second. Our Cougar will take the sit now. Macarena sat that dance out and takes a good trailing position, 4th at the 800 metres, 2 lengths to Soul Coach, 2 off then to Kintyre. On the outside of He-Man, further back to Zardozi, Noisy Boy, Tannhauser, and Ravello's the last one. Les Vampire, a narrow leader from Raff Attack. The now Cougar, Macarena, 2 lengths to Soul Coach from He-Man. Kintyre still back in the field on the outside or behind Zardozi. They turn. Les Vampire's been heavily back to win the Ajax Stakes, and it kicks. Gets 2 lengths clear. Raff Attack dropped off. Macarena's giving chase now. Zardozi goes back on the inside. Les Vampire's all out now. Moving up on the outside. Macarena, Zardozi, and Kintyre with the last shot of them as Zardozi takes the lead. Zardozi beat off Macarena and Kintyre, and Zardozi draws clear with the far lap stakes. Zardozi 2 lengths. Macarena second. Ahead away third, Kintyre. Maybe Les Vampire hanging on for 4 from Tannhauser, He-Man, and then came Noisy Boy. Further back to our Cougar, followed by Soul Coach, Ravello, and Raff Attack Weekend right out to finish last.
Good tip, Ron Dovesey. You were at pains to point out how well she went first up at Randwick, despite being 11th of 12, beaten 6 lengths. But she did something to catch your eye, and Ronnie, when she trucked up around towards the home turn, there was going to be no stopping her.
No, she was home on the turn. A beautiful ride. He woke her up today. He woke her up, not barrier trial day, girl. It's race day, and she's a class act. She is outstanding, this filly, and she might even run 2 mile. That might be a Melbourne Cup winner. She has got class and she's got big lungs. So dominant performance in a race that was probably just a tick along the way, but she's a really good filly.
I thought it was a terrific win, Ronnie, despite me and Chantel in the enclosure trying to claw her down. She did get really, really hot, and I've never noticed her to do that before. She definitely didn't do it first up, but that was a terrific ride by Tommy Marquand, just weaved his way through. Like you said, woke her up just prior to the home turn. You could see her really making ground up underneath them, and to go back to where he did, they haven't been really making ground there, so it was a little bit of a game ride, but again, super.
Well, we've been talking about Orchestral, the gun 3-year-old filly in New Zealand, who's coming over here for the Vinery. I wonder if they're going to clash there. I'm sure they will.
Yep, for sure.
At the moment in the Oaks, and I think that's the way that Roger James is leaning right at this moment. Heard him in an interview during the week that the Vinery Oaks is the main target. He's not saying no to the Derby, but that's the first choice. She's $2.80 in the Oaks. Zardozi, $6. What about in the Vinery? What about in the Vinery, the first stop? $2 Orchestral, $6 Zardozi. Tim, that's going to have to change.
It already has changed. It's been $8 into $6.
Oh, so that's 8 into 6 already.
Yep.
I reckon it'll change again. What time have they run for the 1500? 1:28. Well done, James. What a great filly.
She's a class act, and you know, you've got to be prepared to forgive her for a first up effort. Just there's a lot that went against her, and yet she pulled up from the run well. She just trained on sweetly since then, so we stuck to our guns. And you know, the far lap's a perfect race for her, and as a stepping stone to the Vinery. And now she gets back to 2,000 in a couple of weeks, and she's just going to look spot on.
Well, it's going to be a great clash. You've certainly thrown it down to Orchestral because she's been all the talk. But now, wake up, Zardozi's here.
Yeah, and that's great, I think. But you know, you can't have a short memory. You've only got to open up the replays from October and see what she was doing in the spring. There was a big effort in the Wakeful to run second. You know, a sweet effort in the Manifold before that. But the win in the Group 1 VRC Oaks was pretty special. So that was the win of a filly that had top class Group 1 ability, and that's the way this filly's headed. She's been a big price her first 2 runs back, and Dominic Byrne had her odds on in this race today. So probably something for the flea punters there, and hopefully those that have stuck solid with her are rewarded. And I certainly think she's the type of filly that's going to reward Godolphin a lot more in the preparations ahead.
I just think a quick word on Tom Marquand, how he had her firing well before the home turn. She was ready to pounce.
Yeah, he had a bit of faith in the horse. He come out to the gallops for Osborne Park to help us out before the first up run, and he's just talking to him here. He had the same glint in his eye about her chances as I had, and he stuck solid to a plan just to save ground turning for home. And well, she had plenty of horse underneath him, and that helps. But stuck to the plan, and he's a class rider who's just who's hitting his straps now. And so we're glad to have supported him from the moment he got here this campaign for Tom, and we'll continue to do so.
Well done on the double.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Aussie Tom. Great to see you back in the winner's circle here.
Yeah, obviously nice to be back down with some winners, and look, she's obviously a very good filly. She's shown that in the past, but that was a strong performance at a trip that obviously is sharp enough for her, but class prevailed and she was pretty explosive through.
Obviously first time on her, but today in the enclosure it looked like her wheels were spinning a little bit. She got a little bit hot where she hasn't done that before.
Yeah, I suppose on a lot of horses it can be taken as negative. Maybe for her, when she's tuned, she just gets that little bit fiery. She felt fantastic before her her first run back this year, and then obviously didn't go to plan. But look, she looks great. As I say, she's a proven top class filly already, and look, hopefully today sets her back on that path for this prep.
Well done, bud.
Thanks. Cheers.
Now this is Madame Pommery moving in, the blindfold on there to just try and keep her calm. She was very buzzed up in the gates here a couple of weeks ago. And here's Tropical Squall moving in, the Surround Stakes winner. She's drawn the outside barrier, looking for a third Group 1 success, Tropical Squall. The light is on, the Coolmore Classic field are ready to go. Zugotcha, barrier 2, the heavily back favourite. Set now. Starter about to release the field and does so now. They're off and racing. Tropical Squall clearly best out from the outside draw, and she looks like making the running here from Revolutionary Miss and Jenny Lala pushing forward as Tropical Squall crosses down to the rails. They're followed by Denied Knowledge, Komochi out deep, then Zugotcha settling 6th. In advance of Samana in the orange cap, further back to Yonsei in the early stages from Hinged. Then came Barbie's Doll on the outside, a Renaissance Woman, then followed by Hell Hath No Fury, Vienna Princess. More Secrets back on the rails from Barbie's Fox, third last. Then Madame Pommery and Foxy Frida's last of all. Tropical Squall led. Revolutionary Miss goes to second at the 800 metres. Jenny Lala with a sit on the inside of Denied Knowledge, and Komochi caught deeper out. They're followed by Zugotcha, plonked down on the rails on the inside of Samana, and Hinged on a 3-wide park with cover. 2 lengths further back to Yonsei on the rails from Renaissance Woman. Barbie's Doll hard at it out wide. Further back to Vienna Princess. More Secrets as they straighten up now. And Tropical Squall looking for another Group 1 success. Revved up. Tropical Squall at the 300 from Revolutionary Miss. Zugotcha's out now, closing off. Then came Komochi. Samana winding up on the outside. Tropical Squall shows the way from Zugotcha. Wide out is Samana running home hard, and Samana moved up with Zugotcha. They're wide apart. Zugotcha near the inside of Samana. Zugotcha got the Coolmore. Zugotcha went at a neck to Samana, and close up Hinged and also Komochi. Then Tropical Squall, Jenny Lala. Further back, Renaissance Woman from Yonsei, Foxy Frida, Revolutionary Miss. Then More Secrets, Hell Hath No Fury, Deny Knowledge, Vienna Princess, Barbie's Fox, Madame Pommery. Zugotcha.
90 Group 1 wins for James McDonald. 90 Group 1 wins, and for Chris Waller, he trains his 157th. They're amazing numbers, and that will go down as a memorable Coolmore Classic. What a clash. Zugotcha grabbing Tropical Squall, and then Samana and Komochi were coming out after them. But Zugotcha, McDonald drives it to the line, and Waller not only brings up another Group 1, another one on his home track.
a class race for a class mare, and she did it with the top weight. So, and she went into the pain barrier. She went into the pain barrier trying to chase down a Waterhouse and Bott horse, a good filly she had to chase down, and she did it, and she did it with guts and determination to get the job done here. From these other two the other gallant fillies around the mark there, Komochi, and so is Samana right there, close up for second as well. So, and then it's close up for fourth, maybe Tropical Squall, and Nose in front of Hinged. But gee, she's a good mare. She's a beauty.
Won't take him long to get to the 100 Group 1 wins now, Ronnie. He's on fire, J Mac. He put that in the perfect position. She was going into the race, obviously the best horse in the race, but just the way that he rode it. But they made him work. They made her work for it. It wasn't just handed to her on a platter. She was out on her legs there at about the 200-metre mark, but she had to dig deep. But again, terrific ride by J Mac.
Okay, Chris Waller gets another big win in his career. The numbers are just frightening in such a short period of time. 157 Group 1 victories. And another Coolmore. Zagotcha won the Far Lap Stakes on this day last year. He won the Coolmore last year with Espiona. So it's back-to-back wins in this race for the stable. Well, what do you say about this girl?
Good to have her back. She showed last start that the riding was on the wall for a horse that we expected to be there in the spring, was back, and she's backed that up today with a tough win under handicap conditions, giving weight away to every other horse in the race. So full credit to her today.
You admitted you went down the wrong route last time. You're back on track now.
I'm back on track. So is she. Yeah, so she just, I tried to make a sprint and got it wrong every distance. I was just one run behind, and I started 1100, 1300 and 1400, and it was just, should have been 13, 14 a mile. So, yeah, she's won a flight stake. She's now won a Coolmore, and I'm sure that there's more to come.
Yeah. Could it be a Doncaster?
It'll depend on what re-handicap she gets. Hopefully not too much, because you're seeing all the other horses win and set weight races and get in with nothing. So hopefully the handicapper gives some respect to that. Otherwise, she won't run. She'll run in the Coolmore Legacy.
I think when we look back through the record books, 57 today is some feat.
Yeah, it is. As our Sydney Morning Herald man Chris Roots just said, took us a long time to win the race, and now we've managed to win 2 in a row. Because it has been a hard race to win.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done, J-Mac. That was a terrific win. She had set up great in transit. She had a great run, but they made her work for it in the straight.
Yeah, for sure. She was. She had to dig deep. At the furlong, I didn't think she could win. I felt I was near empty, and she credit to her. She pinned her ears back and had a great crack, and she's just a top-class mare that's trained to a minute.
You've always had a great association with these fillies and mares.
May it continue, hopefully, but she's just one where we've stuck with all the way through. Actually, Willie Pike had a go on her, so he might have snaked me there, but we've ended up back on her, and yeah, it's special.
90 Group 1s, 100's fast approaching.
Yeah, that's a long way away. Let's just get 91, 92.
Well done, buddy.
Thanks.
As is Tavi Time, our favourite in the last. They're loading in well for the Ajax Stakes. Here's Darren Flindell.
And Just Folk, who won the race 2 years ago. Just Folk has the outside draw to contend with in this year's edition and is the last to move forward. So a wide open betting race, a more victorious favourite in front of Democracy Manifest, and the light is on. Ready to go. They're off and racing now. And flopping out the back was Territory Express. A more victorious began sharply. So did Robusto. Palmetto settles in third as Fearson starting to muster after a fair start. They're followed by Detonator Jack Handy on the inside of Glory Days, and Just Folk caught out deep. Further back to He's a Shocker, then Well Wall from Democracy Manifest. Caesar's Palace, Bold Mac. Territory Express has gone down to the rails last of all. Racing up into the first turn, a good duel here. A more victorious and Fearson And we saw last time Fearson doesn't mind a dogfight in the lead, but a More Victorious is going to declare him on. A More Victorious wants the front, a half in front to Fearson, and this is a good tempo. Robusto third, followed by Palmetto on the outside at Detonator Jack, then Just Folk. Will cast a bit deep from He's a Shocker, then Glory Days, Territory Express improving ground, followed then by Caesar's Palace. Democracy Manifest is second last. Bold Mac sees them all. Racing to the turn, Fearson and a More Victorious. They've really been duelling in the lead. Robusto's at a great camp behind them. Then Detonator Jack running on. Further back to Palmetto and Just Folk. At the 350, a More Victorious beat off Fearson, but Robusto's closing in. Detonator Jack's closing it on the inside. Detonator Jack and Robusto. Here's Democracy Manifest winding up on the outside. It's Detonator Jack, Democracy Manifest and Territory Express late. Democracy Manifest, Territory Express, they hit it. Oh, tight. Territory Express lunging at Democracy Manifest. Detonator Jack third, followed by Bold Mac, Just Folk, Robusto. Then came He's a Shocker, a More Victorious, Glory Days, Palmetto, Fearson, Wellball and Caesar's Palace. Photo.
Okay, Photo, Democracy Manifest and Territory Express. Who's got the bob in? We'll wait on the slow-mo. Waiting on a replay. Where is it? Here it is. Slow shot first of all. A lot of people doing an early crow here, and I don't know which camp they're in. Democracy Manifest and Territory Express. Now, let's line these noses up. Who's going to put the bob down right on the line? Is it Democracy Manifest? I think it is. Yes, it is. Number 5, Democracy Manifest, has won the Ajax Stakes and gets into the Doncaster. Territory Express is flying at the moment. We'll go on now to the Provincial Midway Final in great form. Detonator Jack in third spot, then Bold Mac, Robusto and Just Folk.
Well, there's that man again. James McDonald, look at him at full stretch there. Getting that horse's head down when it counts. That's all it was, because he was at, you look at the photo finish there, he's just in rare form and set up beautifully for this race here. Love the speed up front and launched on them late there. Boy, is he on target. Territory Express to put some life into this this provincial championships final, and Detonator Jack's gone really good there first up with the 58 kilos. Just probably got to the front a touch too soon. He'll improve off that, but all honours with the winner. He's got a lethal turn of speed. Second horse maybe a little unlucky. Just had to nudge Just Folk out of the road there and got one stride off. So, but we've got a deserved winner. Democracy Manifest.
Couldn't agree more, Ronnie. This is when a game of inches, and when you've got the likes of J Mac on, he just knows when to get their heads down and get them out and just find that little bit extra getting towards the line. He's an absolute superstar. He's going to go down as one of Australia's best.
Okay, just moments ago he brought up his 90th Group 1 victory, 1:28.39 and home in 34.55. Chris Waller is having a day out. Group 1 and now into Democracy Manifest. Is he a Doncaster horse?
He'll get his chance. Yeah, you don't dare deny the owners of running in these big races, and he proved himself today. He didn't have a lot of luck in the Epsom in the spring, and that's the beauty of Australian racing. You get a few bites at the cherry, and that's what racing's all about, is Saturday racing. But when you can get a Group 1 runner or a Group 2 winner, that's a big deal.
I wouldn't want to be the one to tell this group that they're not going to a Doncaster. I'd be running away.
Yeah, I think the Chinese restaurants will be up tonight, that's for sure, around Sydney.
Okay, do you think he's come back maybe a better horse, or is he needs to just keep doing what he's doing?
Yeah, honestly, he didn't have a lot go his way in the spring. No. So yeah, he's a decent horse, and yeah, great owners. The Allums, they're good supporters of racing, sport, businesses, and a pleasure to train for, and yeah, it's a pleasure to win for them.
Great work.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chris. Democracy Manifest. Well, second up last campaign, won the Cameron and then went to the Epsom where he ran 5th. And today wins the Ajax and then goes to a Doncaster. Third up. All right, J Mac about to join Corey Brown.
Well done, Jay, mate. Comes down to a game in inches and you know how to get it out of him.
Well, it was a bit close for my liking, but actually, to be fair, Zaki, on the second, he rode an absolute treat because I felt him back behind me and then I felt him darting up inside me and I thought, he's a little smarter.
He was probably a fraction unlucky too because he had to tippy-toe his way through.
Yeah, and that's probably where the difference of obviously winning and losing, but clear air for my fellow, he accelerated beautifully and I think he enjoys that bit of space. He's a big striding galloper with a great turn of foot, but he was entitled to get tired, which he did, but he was set a task.
You think he's a Doncaster horse?
Yeah, I do, yeah. He's come back in great order and he's big and strong. Depending on weight, he'll give him a shake.
Right on, mate.
Thanks.
He's been cleared, Tarvey Time. He goes back up into the gates. The $1.60 favourite. The light is on. We're ready to go. Tarvey Time passing the vet's exam. They're racing. Tarvey Time jumped out with them. Boy, there's only a length covering the entire field early. And Wind Chat is going to spear through and take a narrow lead from Razors up in a handy position. Walking, Painting handy on the rails. And now Tarvey Time going forward. Followed by Gently Rolled. Frankie Pino up on the outside. They're followed by Superior has taken a spot down on the rails. And the inside of Promises kept. And Sweet Mercy's last of all. So Wind Chat heads them up here from Razors. And Walking, Painting gets leaders back third. The favourite Tarvey Time fourth, followed by Frankie Pino. Superior in the fence, Gently Rolled next. A length and a half Promises kept and Sweet Mercy's at the rear of the field. So Wind Chat being held together in the lead, out by a length. Now 2 lengths on Razors. Walking, Painting the import, getting a good run on the rails. Tarvey Time is next, although just peeling 3 wide now. Tarvey Time not risking a pocket as they come to the turn. Wind Chat 2 in front. Walking, Painting goes to second as Razors just gave a bit of ground. Now Tarvey Time's being wound up. Not sure you want shares in Tarvey Time. Wind Chat going well. At the 300, a length and a half to Razors, then Walking, Painting. Tarvey Time's got it all to do, but he's knuckling down now. Wind Chat 3 lengths clear from Tarvey Time going to second. Wind Chat in front from Tarvey Time. Wind Chat's going to lead all the way, turning over the short favourite Tarvey Time. Razors third, Camera fourth. Frankie Pino bobbing it, Gently Rolled. Then Superior from Sweet Mercy, Promises kept, and Walking, Painting dropped out of it. Easy win to Wind Chat in the last.
Too good here in the final event. Dave Pfeiffer and Jay Ford. He defeats Tarvey Time, who finishes in second. 10 Razors, and it is a photo for fourth. 9 and 1 there. We'll get the photo through as soon as we can. But Wind Chat, he reared up in the gates just before they opened, but he jumped cleanly. Duff, he was able to lead them up and they couldn't get past him.
Yeah, he got his gift in front. He just bluffed them all out of it. We know he's going to be explosive the last 600 metres of his races, and he quickened at the right time just on before the turn there, and he got Tarvey Time's wheels spinning there. So not his style of race. Disappointing if you backed him, but as far as the future's concerned, it's still okay, but just wasn't his race with no pressure on up front there.
Yeah, 100% correct, Ronnie. When the winner eventually pushed out at the top of the straight there, it caught, I think, Dylan Gibbons a little bit sort of on the napping side, and when he did let this horse run, he got quite off balance. It's quite noticeable on the head-on here. He gets out of rhythm and his action just really changed there for a while. So probably just from the sit and sprint, he just didn't like that. So, but all honours with the winner. Well-rated ride out in front with Jay Ford.
Indeed, Dave Pfeiffer joins me. Congratulations, Dave. A few anxious moments. He reared up just before the gates opened, but he jumped cleanly, and that's his thing, to roll along and do that.
Yeah, anxious isn't quite the word that I felt when they pulled that horse out to check him over, but that is his trait, get out front, roll along, and you know, he got a nice comfortable time. He got a well-rated ride by Jay, and you know, he's just put himself back in that good form that he started off in this prep.
Did you come here quite confident he could do that?
Every time I come to the race with this horse, it's always anxiety when he's in the barriers, but he's got a ton of ability and he's proved that this preparation. It's you know, it's just him, you know, just putting it all together, and I still think he's got a lot of improving in him. You know, it's just these little things he does wrong and right, but yeah, it's best is still in front of him.
Have you got something mapped out for him?
Well, I was hoping to try and get him for the Midway Provincial Championship, but he's just ruled himself out today. Too many wins, so it's a good problem to have. So yeah, we'll have to look at a B plan.
Not a bad problem to have.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well done, Dave.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go over and see how far Jay is. He's just coming back now, Corey, so he won't be too far away from unsaddling, and that makes it win number 6 from start number 12 with 2 minor placings. He's been to this track 3 times now for 2 wins, so he's built a nice little record here at this track. And Corey's he's got an unbelievable turn of foot when he's able to bowl along. He finds that fence and he just seems to keep going.
He's a horse. He's got a really, really high cruising speed. I've obviously spoken to Jay about him before, but he can quicken off that high cruising speed. He's obviously still got his little problems in the barriers, but slowly but surely it seems to be getting those problems ironed out.
Yeah, as he's getting older and mature, and we heard from Dave and he said he's still got a few little things to iron out, but he's obviously very talented, and when he's fully mature and works it all out, he's going to be a very nice horse going forward. So Jay just making it all official.